Yeah, we did that almost once a year, every time with the tour. And talking about that audience responsibility, it's when you have a schedule and you play like 30 shows or something like that in a row. For your perspective, or even for mine or Lou's, it's 30 shows. But it's really always important to remember that for that person that is there, it's just that one evening.
That's right.
You know, it's just that one evening where they get to see you. So you don't really have room to mess anything up on stage or off stage, because it's that person's only
That's
experience
right.
that they have that evening. So
That is
that's
correct.
why you got to give it your.
That,
Everyone's got to give it their
that
100%
that's
at
what
every
for
show.
me the motor code, honesty, integrity, loyalty, is so meaningful. Life is definitely simple. We make it complicated. So my goal in life right now is to make sure that I share my wisdom to the next generation. First of all, I want you to know why we're doing this podcast. We've done a few things together. You have helped me um, have a connection, communication, and relationship with the German people, which is something that I want the people who are going to watch this podcast to know. Who's behind this live shows that we do in Europe, right? But the whole point of this podcast for me, because I know you're gonna love the whole concept of it, is better human, better planet. And I like to bring people that make a difference in the world, in my life, and in their lives or whatever, right? And we're gonna unveil, who you are for the people, because you're the typical behind the camera human being, right? It's like they see Cesar in front, but then it's the producers, it's the casting people, the directors, and in a live show, we have the people like you. Without you, I can't do a live show. You know what I mean? Which is the promoters and how you're helping me to do my mission, which is better human, better planet. And the new show is called Better Human, Better Dog. But you understand my philosophy. You have experienced my energy and the team that I have. I have an amazing Mexican team, right? That travels, and then the Germans combined team, which is the precision, and they're always on time. But we how we come together as an amazing pack, and we live together for like a month, and we go through the ups and downs together, and everything that entails to do a live show, and especially in places like Germany, Austria, Switzerland, all of that, Europe. There's a different set of rules, boundaries, and limitations. You know what I mean? And so I want you guys to meet um, the human who make things possible. In my live shows, I understand Luis is part of it, but he doesn't do as much as Sina. He just does logistics. I do have a big heart for for the German people.
Yeah.
I love the challenge.
Yeah.
They bring. I love the structure that they have. I love it. I admire, discipline. I
Yeah.
admire structure. I crave it. I imitate it. I think it's part of success. Um, I think being on time is extremely crucial.
You are super on time. I just want to say that on camera. You're like one of the most punctual people I know.
Yes, and I go to sleep on time. I don't party. I don't party. I'm an easy artist, as they call it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself an artist, but I do. I do like to make sure that I don't waste people's time.
Yeah.
That people know that I care about their time and their efforts and the money that they put into it. So as I go, I learn many things. I'm new in this.
Yeah.
I'm the first, definitely the first Mexican guy who talks about dogs around the world.
And you've got to see, I'm going to say, you're the Mexican artist on stage that got to see most German cities, because in the last 10 years we've been around.
Tell, can you where have we been?
Well, over the past 10 years, we've really hit all the big cities in Germany. We've been to Berlin multiple times. We've been to Munich, been to Cologne, to Hamburg, Frankfurt, Mannheim, and also to smaller cities
Yeah.
like Rostock up in the north, which you've never seen the Baltic Sea before until we came there.
Yeah.
Probably didn't know that a place like that existed in Germany. Um, So yeah, you've been really seeing all the markets, all the sites, and got a really good view and feeling of what the Germans are about.
Now the challenge is another challenge is that I need to have interpreted
Yes.
somebody who interprets what I'm saying
Yes.
because sometimes people
Yeah.
in Germany only speak German.
Yeah, that was a big challenge when we first, sit together and thought about how we're going to do the live show. It's like, okay, language might be an issue. I mean, especially with everything you talk about, the dog philosophy, that's vocabulary that's a little bit more challenging than maybe what a comedian does.
Right.
So we were thinking about how's that going to go. And, obviously having subtitles is not a fun way to do it. And I thought of this host that I'd known for a while. And I thought, you know what, I think they would really get together and we would kind of create almost like a late night show vibe on stage. And I was really happy that that actually worked. Steven on the first tour
Yeah,
was
Steve is
amazing.
badass. Steve is amazing.
And you guys had a great thing going. And I
Yeah.
think that elevated the show to even another level because it was so entertaining.
Which
Just the
I
two
never
of you
done.
together.
I
Yeah.
never done right to
Yeah.
to say my words, my lines, and feel the audience
Yeah.
because that's another thing. You're in front of thousands of people,
Yeah.
and then the translator is gonna come in, and how you incorporate that
Yeah.
what is the German speaking person, and then is this Mexican guy speaking English, and then the audience become part of this frequency, this moment of happiness,
Yeah.
learning, love,
Yeah.
family. It's I never done it, and I think it's fantastic. It allows me to have no boundaries or no obstacles.
Yeah.
Can I go to a place where they don't speak my language?
Yeah.
Right? Or the language that I learned to speak, and I go.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, let me teach you about energy, philosophy, and action. The dogs are dogs no matter where we are in the world. The only ones who changes language is the human.
Yeah.
But if we work together, like
Yeah.
with interpreted, myself and the audience, and then we can achieve big things.
Yeah, and
You
it
know?
definitely worked. I mean, you guys had such a natural energy and connection on stage that made it so much funnier and
Yeah.
so much more interesting.
Yeah.
That back and forth between you guys,
Yeah.
that is hard to do.
Yes.
Because you have to have a personal connection
Yeah.
to get that done.
we
otherwise
just
you
met.
get stuck. Yeah, exactly. We did not have much time to rehearse.
That's right. that's true.
Kind of jumped in the cold water there, but
So when we talk about live in the moment, that is living in the moment,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
okay. We're gonna do a live show where somebody's gonna repeat what you're saying in German,
Yeah.
but then you have to wait for people to get the concept, of people to laugh.
yeah,
And all of this have to be done simultaneously
Yeah.
as you do it. It's like you jump into it
Yeah.
and you learn about this new way of giving us a show,
Yeah.
and the only thing you do is grow,
yeah,
right?
You
Because
did-
it just gets
definitely
better
did.
every night.
Yeah.
It just gets better and better and better. I grow every single. I have
Yeah.
fun every single night. I mean, we go. We do a show, a live show, and then the next day we have to travel to do another live show at nighttime. We rest for like a day or 2 days, but we don't really rest because we're always traveling.
Yes.
So the challenging yourself spiritually, instinctually, emotionally, mentally
Yeah.
is something that we practice.
Yeah.
You
It's a
know?
really rough schedule. It's not easy, it's rough on your voice because you talk a lot of, you talk like 2 hours
Yeah.
every day. You travel,
Yeah.
which is exhausting. There's not a lot of alone time
Mm-hmm.
to like decompress about things.
Yeah.
You're always with people.
Yeah.
You're always on the road, either in a bus or in a car or an airplane. So it's definitely an exhausting process. It's fun,
Yeah.
but it's also exhausting.
Yeah. No. You die. Yeah. Yeah. See, you don't feel because you're in adrenaline and in responsibility.
Yes.
Right. So this business can be done if you're responsible. Right. It's
You
just
have to be
you
a little
can't-
crazy.
Yeah.
Have to be a little bit crazy.
You have to be yeah. You're gonna die every night, but you're gonna use adrenaline,
Yeah.
and then you're not gonna feel anything until you finish the show. And once I finish the show, like everything is broken.
Yeah.
It's like
It's even worse when a tour is over because then you really feel it.
yeah, that's when you feel it.
Yeah, then you're like, holy crap,
Yeah.
I've just been traveling for like, I don't know, a month. I don't know what time it is.
And you were
anymore.
thousands of people, right?
Yeah.
So we do like meet and greets.
Yeah.
That adds into like your immune system,
Yeah.
right? Because that some people have good energy, some people have a very sad energy, and
Yeah.
they still want to hug you,
Yeah.
you know, and they want to tell you all the stuff, and
Yeah.
and so you're just taking, absorbing, taking, absorbing,
Yeah.
giving, absorbing, and that's why I go to sleep. That's
Yeah.
why I just want to have a nice dinner because
Yeah.
we love food.
Yeah.
That's one thing. It's a must.
Yes.
Like right, food is a must.
Feeding you is very essential.
It's very essential. That's right. And then that's it. I just want my time alone, and that's the time where I can go to a sauna, just sweat things out, or just watch some kind of narcos thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Just get your head.
Yeah,
off
just
of
that's it.
everything.
Just
Yeah.
I know. Now, why do you watch Narcos? I don't know. I don't know what I watch Narcos,
Yeah.
but I always go watch the same show. I watch Scarface 300 times.
Yeah.
I watch 300, another 300 times.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with calm confidence. I know Scarface is not a good one, but I like it. You know, it's like my second kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where but obviously I don't practice that kind of energy, but for some reason that's what I watch.
Yeah.
Or comedy.
I do comedy too. I need something that really, because it's very, like you said, it's very stressful. You're on the road a lot, and you need something to decompress. And my
Yeah.
thing is definitely comedy.
Yeah.
And I like to watch the same things.
Yeah, but
over
you
again
guys
to
always
certain
stay
comfort.
late at night and have a beer.
That's
It's like a
true.
religion.
That's true.
It's like, why they always stay over? Like, guys, go to sleep. Nope. My team always stay past 10 o'clock or 10, 11, and then they always have a big ass beer, and then they go to sleep.
You have a gift because you can even though you're the one on stage, you can decompress faster than sometimes I think we can. Like
Yeah.
we were, so hyped up after a show that everything went well. I can't go to sleep right away.
Wow.
It takes that moment to like discuss with the people you're on tour with, and maybe have a drink to
Chill.
to cool down and be ready to actually go to bed. Otherwise, you're just overexcited and you can't sleep. So. Yeah, but everybody deals with it
Yeah,
differently.
completely different.
It's everybody has their own little thing that they do after a show, and it's definitely challenging. I think a lot of people don't know how challenging that is to come off of stage, be so full of adrenaline, and finding a way to decompress because you need to do it over again the next day.
The next day.
Yeah, so it's a real challenge for a
And
lot of
not
people.
only guys, you have to do it the next day. You have to do it the next day as it looks like it's the first time you're doing it.
Exactly, with the same energy,
With
really
the
good,
same
good
energy. And you have to be authentic. You have to
Yes.
be honest. You have to follow through for people to keep giving you the loyalty, the love, all of that is extremely crucial.
Yeah.
That you keep the audience as your biggest responsibility possible. Because everybody is gonna save some money to come see you.
Yeah.
It's gonna make time to come see you. They're been waiting for you for years, 2 years.
Yeah.
We get on Instagram. We get a lot of German people. When are you coming back to Germany? When are you coming back to Germany? And I have to say that Germany is one of those countries that would like to have me once a year.
Yeah, we did that almost once a year every time with the tour. And talking about that audience responsibility, it's when you have a schedule and you play like 30 shows or something like that in a row, for your perspective, or even for mine or Lou's, it's 30 shows. But it's really always important to remember that for that person that is there, it's just that one evening.
That's right.
It's just that one evening where they get to see you. So you don't really have room to mess anything up on stage or off stage because it's that person's only experience
right.
that they have that evening. So
That is
that's
correct.
why you got to give it everyone's got to give it their 100%.
That's
at
what
every
for
show.
me the motor code, honesty, integrity, loyalty, is so meaningful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the only way I can stay being 100% responsible. It's like being a parent. You are a mom.
Yeah.
I'm a dad, and you have 2 girls. I have 2 boys. It's the same responsibility, boy or girl, same, right?
Yeah.
It's you become an amazing dad or mom when your level of responsibility is stronger than your tiredness.
Oh yeah.
It's
Than anything.
stronger than the world crumbling, right?
Yeah.
Because we all went through. No la pongas ahí con ella. Uh, going through COVID,
Yeah.
the world, not one person or one country, the whole world
Yeah.
went through COVID. And one thing that I love about German people is how much did you guys love to help other people?
Yeah.
If it's something that you guys love to do it, but my experience is every time something bad happens, you guys allow refugees to come in and feel safe or peaceful or at least being fed.
Yeah.
How do you guys? What do you what? Because I know you like to encourage your girls to be good to animals,
Yeah.
to be good to nature. I seen you. I know. But in this case, Luis told
Yeah.
me that you were helping the refugees and how that was an important task or an important thing for your daughters to be
Yeah.
to because I did it with my kids with
Yeah.
animals, right?
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna rescue dogs, when
Yeah.
raised my kids in South Central, and so it was a lot of pit bulls in South Central, and my kids grew up rescuing pit
Yeah.
bulls, right? And helping an animal or a human is just as important for us.
Yeah.
Right. It's just whoever needs the help. That's who you.
Exactly.
Need to help.
Exactly.
Right?
It's all about. I mean, I think that's what every parent essentially wants to do is raise good people.
Yes.
You want your kids to
Good
be
humans.
happy.
Yeah.
However that looks, if that
Yeah.
means they become a lawyer or, or rescue animals, that's all fine. You just want them to be happy.
Yeah.
And you want them to be responsible. You want them to hopefully most of the time make the right and good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's really important to be empathetic, to help. I think we all have that responsibility when we see somebody or something that needs help to do so.
Yeah.
And not ask questions, you help first. So, we've fostered before at home animals and they really love to do that. Now it's a fun thing to do when you're a kid, like have little kittens at home and
Don't
be
you have like a guinea
responsible.
pig or something?
We
like
also
that?
have guinea pig rescues, yes.
That was the first person I remember. Like remember the guinea pig, and then we just came from Peru, which is a different kind of thing.
Yeah, you guys wanted
we
to
talk about
eat
it.
them.
That's right.
It's like,
We
no, I
didn't do
just
it.
saved them from a snake. I'm not going to feed you my guinea pig. Yeah, we saved guinea pigs because somebody raised them to be snake food, and you can't have that
Oh
happen.
wow! You never told me that part of the story.
Yeah.
You
And
just
then-
say I rescue guinea pigs,
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
girls and your husband is also part of the
But
rescue
somebody needs to
organization.
take care of them when I'm not home. You
That's
know how
right.
that is.
That's right. You
Somebody
know
needs
that-
to. Somebody needs to keep everything and
That's-
everyone alive. So we do that, and it's a great thing for kids. It's a fantastic way to learn how to be responsible
Yeah.
for other things. But also being empathetic. And helping people as well. So about a little bit more than a year ago, obviously, when Russia attacked Ukraine, a lot of refugees came in, and it was. I'm not entirely sure if the rest of the world really noticed as to what extent. Like about say 5 days into the attacks, there's a train from Warsaw to
5
Berlin.
days.
Yeah, Warsaw to Berlin. And a lot of people were going into Poland. To this day, Poland has almost 4 million refugees from the Ukraine, yeah. So people were going to Poland, and obviously Poland was super crowded and was difficult to get across the border. And they would take the train from Warsaw to Berlin. So for the entire month of March, every day in Berlin, trains would come with a minimum of 10,000 people. Yeah. It's an unbelievable number. And you've been to that train station.
Yeah, it's a beautiful train station.
It's a big train station, but it was insane. The train company started running extra trains to get all the people out of Warsaw. And they would arrive in Berlin, and as every government, it's very slow in responding to things. So the people of Berlin actually came together and started feeding the refugees, clothing them, and going as far, which I thought was the most amazing thing ever. People would go to the train station with little signs, were just paper signs that said, "I have room for 2 people."
Wow.
And they would take them home and have them stay at their houses.
Without
Yeah, without knowing that, without even being able to speak the language, they did that. That was a big thing that people in Berlin did, that they opened their homes and let the refugees stay. So what we did is we set the goal, okay, we're going to make like 100 sandwiches every day and bring them to the train station.
wow.
So that was a family effort. Everybody sat down at the table. My older one Googled, bread and everything in Ukrainian and was writing it on little sandwich bags.
Okay.
And the little one was making the sandwiches and putting like little
How old are the
chocolate.
girls now?
They are now 13 and 10.
Oh,
Yes, it's crazy. And
how long do we know each other?
10 years now this year.
So yeah. Oh
I
my God. One
know.
was 3 when we met,
I know.
and the other one was on the way.
And so I thought she was freshly born.
Oh, she was freshly born.
Yes. So yeah, we did that every day, and then our neighborhood really came together. And all of a sudden, I met neighbors that I had never met before. We all had a WhatsApp group, and everybody took turns going to the train station at night. Because it was hard to do it every day, and collecting donations. Like, I swear, every blanket and every pillow in the house that wasn't used went to that train station.
That's great.
Because people were, sleeping there on the floor, and it was all women and children.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it, because men weren't allowed to leave the country. So it was really just older people and women and children and lots of animals. So many animals.
Any kind?
Any kind. I've seen
In the train?
in the train, I mean, really, like big dogs, small dogs, cats, a ton of cats, birds. I've seen a lot of people. And, a lot of people didn't have time to evacuate properly and have everybody crated, Like, I worked in a refugee center right after, and my job was to welcome the people that would come there, and then they would be processed, the data would be processed, and then they would be moved on to different locations throughout Germany, because Berlin was, at that point, there was just too many people.
Overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, at the end, like by now we're, I think, at close to like 1.8 million refugees in Germany, and the majority came through Berlin. Yeah. Yeah. So that refugee center was huge. It was the old airport. You still know it, the old Berlin airport. And there's tons of people coming through with children. Some of them were hurt, which was a difficult experience, because I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen people that had gunshot wounds or anything like that. There was a big medical truck at the airport, and sometimes I would have to bring sick people or wounded people to the medical truck. Lots of women and children, lots of animals, and you had to collect donations. I always brought donations home for kids to entertain them. When you get there and data has been processed and stuff like that, kids get bored. And animals, just making sure that when somebody came, a lot of people came with those little just shopping bags and had their cats in it. And, and you would be like, hey, do you let me get you a crate for your pet, so you can, because sometimes they
Safer.
had, safer, and they had been in there for days. Because taking that train and coming from the Ukraine, most people, it took them like between 5 to 10 days. And sometimes cats or dogs, they were, in shopping carts for like 5 to 10 days. Wow. It was crazy. And
I love that they took the time to bring their animals. You know what I mean?
I did too, and it was really difficult, because in the beginning, Poland didn't want to, it's the European Union border, so they wanted, you have to show that your pet is vaccinated and stuff.
That's right.
And a lot of people left in a hurry. They didn't bring their own papers, let alone thinking about your vaccination card for your dog. So, I think 2 or 3 weeks in, they changed the rule, because a lot of people then were so scared that they left their pets at the border. And they changed it, and they let people come in without anything. And then actually you could, in Germany, you can have your pets vaccinated for free.
Yeah.
Like the veterinarians would offer that service. If you would bring, a note that said that you're a refugee, you could have them vaccinated for free. You can have the vet would check that. In our neighborhood was actually a dog that was fostered because he was shot in the leg 3 times. People managed to bring. It is not an uncommon sign in Berlin to see a lot of Ukrainian cars, because some people left with their cars, and you will see cars with bullet holes in them. Yeah. It's very strange. I mean, it's it's for
normal. I'm sorry, where I'm from.
Yeah, exactly.
See, hello, yeah, bullet shots on a car. That's normal.
Yeah, but in Germany, you know how it is. We don't have guns. It's a very unusual.
I'm happy about that part. I understand that in America they like the rights of carrying guns or owning guns, but I like the idea more of like let's learn first about how to be nice to each other, how to be nice to yourself,
Yes.
so you don't get angry and one day you think that that is an option.
How to
You
provide
know what I mean?
mental health care for people that are
Self
having issues.
control,
Yeah.
self love, self value,
Yeah.
self knowledge. Because when you have that, that is your best weapon,
Yeah.
right? Because you're gonna go after safe, peace, love,
Yeah.
trust, respect, love. You're gonna be a person of honor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you live in that world, you actually go help animals or people,
Yeah.
right? So that
Yeah.
is a weapon on its own, but it's
Yeah.
a beautiful one.
Yeah.
It's the one we should learn first.
It's the one that's most rewarding. It's I feel it's so beautiful to have to be in a position where you can help other human beings or animals. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. That everybody
Oh, the
should
planet.
strive. Yeah, everybody should
You
strive
know
for
what I
that.
mean? Oh, the planet, like the trees,
Yeah.
plastic, like this
Yes.
ocean.
Yeah.
All of that is something that helping people. And why I love this conversation so much is because better human is and better planet is just all of us doing our little part.
Yeah.
Which yours is I mean, for you guys, to help 1 million people,
1.8 million people.
1.8 million people that they are running away, flight from a dangerous place.
Yeah.
That nobody wants to leave their
No.
home,
No.
and definitely nobody wants to leave afraid,
No.
right? But the fact that someone up there in the world has the kindness, the empathy,
Yeah.
the compassion, the motivation, the inspiration, just to give you a different life for a little moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not alone. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, when you grow up in places where I grew up, you feel alone because corruption is very big.
Yeah.
Cartels rule,
Yeah.
and the uncertainty of the place is really strong. So you just learn to survive,
Yeah.
but you don't really learn to be peaceful, to
Yeah.
be calm, to feel safe.
It's something that's very much like almost like a therapy I think we were all overwhelmed by the news and the images that we've seen, and you feel extremely powerless because, what are you going to do in that position that you're in? So being able and to do something in the situation, meaning donating food or donating your time to help others, it helps you cope with the situation and everything you've seen, Like in the beginning, I remember feeling so lost and thinking that is so awful that in 2022 we're looking at pictures like that, at images like that in our neighborhood. Ukraine is from Berlin. It's like 900 kilometers. It's
Which is
not
in hours, how
no.
long?
So it's not maybe like a 10-hour, 12-hour drive. It's not long.
Drive, and then a plane, 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe 2.
So super close.
It is super close. It is very close, and that makes it very. It's a different kind of experience. Not saying it's not as bad when it happens like really far away, but it hits differently when it's so close to home.
Yeah.
And it is essentially, about what the world is going to be like. They are truly and honestly fighting the war for the Western civilization. It's affecting everyone on how this war is going to end. So it's very.
So here in America, we get a different story about what do you guys hear? Why is the reason of that? Why the war happened?
Well, the war technically started in 2014 because Putin already invaded Crimea, which is part of the Ukraine, in 2014.
So that's real.
That's real. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Okay.
And ever since then, people expected him to do something. But it's really interesting. I talked to a lot of people. I had a friend help me out who actually speaks Ukrainian, and she translated a lot of the stories that we heard. And even though people knew that was going on in the country, still didn't expect this to happen. There was this one story about this lady that, because the first attacks happened early in the morning, and she woke up to the news of it, and she had to take her daughter to the dentist that day. And it was such a surreal thing to happen in her country that she was like, am I still going to the dentist? Are we fleeing the country? What are we doing? Are we fleeing the country? And she started going to the dentist with her daughter until she went outside, was in the car, and saw the smoke from the rockets that hit Kiev. And then she was like, okay, this is real. This is a giant disruptor. We got to go. And, that people, I think that's beautifully describing and horrifically describing that process of realizing what the extent of what is happening. It is really a war. It's not just a one incident. It's a war that is starting. So, yeah, people should be aware of the situation. I feel, with everything bad that is happening in the world, there comes a point where we get used to it. We get a little bit desensitized to it. And
or we learn not to trust, like who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
So it creates so what I have learned, in 53 years of my life is that we get information that confuses us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
Right? Because it attacks the trust and the respect and the love.
Yep.
Right? So you don't trust this thing, or you don't trust this people, and these people talk back about this people.
Yeah.
Right? And then, so the easiest way to exist in that environment is not to pay attention to anybody. But then you become desensitized, and you actually learn not to care.
Yeah.
And so because people trust and respect what I do and what I say, I feel the responsibility of bringing, people like yourself. They talk about what is happening in their home and how it's happening in their home, so we can actually do something about it. Because if we become desensitized, we actually become part of the problem.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I think empathy, compassion, calm surrender, open-minded, be curious about it without being without having the in Spanish they call it chismoso, which is like when people just want to hear what's bad in other places, but not for solution. It's just gossipers. You know what I mean? No, it's really to have the curiosity. Are you okay? Can I help you? Because that's really is now that I have, that I speak English, that I have papers, that I can go all over the world. Hey, I tell Luis, where can we go to make an impact? And I already for my retirement, I want to be part of any where they have the children's. Where is it called? Where they don't have parents, orphanage kind of thing. And so, and then start sharing the knowledge since they're little all the way to 10. Right. So they learn energy, philosophy, actions. Right. So that way they have a much better chance to self-love, self-value, self-knowledge, even though their parents were not there for them, but somebody else was there for them. You know what I mean? And that somebody else makes sure their spirit is they understand to hold their spirituality, to hold their instincts, to hold their love, to hold their creativity, and have a healthy body. That's all you need to succeed. You don't need money, fame, and power. That's the outcome. Right? What you need is to have a very, very healthy spirit, right? Honesty, integrity, loyalty, happiness, live in the moment. And then you need understand the instincts. What position would you play in the pack, and what you're gonna do? Food, water, shelter, family. And then your love. What's love for? Is to love conditionally or to love unconditionally. Of course, I'm promoting to be unconditional, right? And then the mind. What's the mind for? Well, the mind is to create or destroy. Make sure you choose creation. Right. So if you grew up with that understanding, by the time that you're 10 years old, you master this. You know why the bird is doing that, why the camel is doing that, why the emu is doing it. It doesn't matter the species. What matters is you understand the spirit of the animal and the instincts of that animal. And it comes down to trust, respect. The outcome of those two is real love. You know what I mean? So that for me is like, where can we make a difference?
And that's all that matters.
That's
in
what
the end,
matters.
It's because that's what makes us happy and everything. I mean, money, fame, and everything does not make you happy. It's being at peace with yourself and the world that is making you happy.
I am honored to be able to to meet the most powerful families in the world, the most
Yeah.
rich families in the world, and the most famous families in the world, but they have a dog problem.
Yeah.
And that makes them not happy.
Yeah.
And that makes them not enjoy the true love of a dog, right?
Yeah.
Because now the dog is aggressive, he's fearful, he practices avoidance. And
Yeah.
so those families will not be able to walk a dog off leash or have a dog in reunions with the whole family, and it's part of it.
Yeah.
They actually isolate them,
Yeah.
and they don't want to go for walks. They feel the dog is aggressive, but money, fame, and power. The point is definitely a commodity. Is that the
Yeah.
right word?
Yeah.
But I think the way to live life is natural, simple, profound.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel every time that I'm in Germany. How much they love the message of natural, simple, profound. They really enjoy. I see their faces,
Yeah.
and the energy, when they send me messages, it's like, I love the nose, eyes, ears.
Yeah.
I love the exercise, discipline, affection, and no one understand discipline better than the Germans and the Japanese, right? So when I say discipline, they don't question it. You know what I mean? Like the rest of the
Yeah.
world, discipline is punishment. No,
Yeah.
it's how the Germans are Germans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is structure.
Yeah.
That's it. That's great. So I don't have to go over the what is discipline means.
Yeah.
In the rest of the world, I have to break it down because they attach it to the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think that the dog culture is fairly different in Germany than it is in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm not gonna say it's day and night, but it has definitely
Structure.
it has like the whole Germans love to go outside and walk their dogs several times a day,
Yeah.
and don't necessarily have dog parks, but you just basically can go anywhere with your dog. We
Yeah.
take them to restaurants and bars.
Yeah.
We tend to
In
take our
Mexico,
dogs
there is
everywhere.
no dog parks. The whole country is a dog park.
Yeah,
The whole country is a dog park.
yeah,
Right? So Mexicans, when they hear it's a dog park, what it's a land for dogs to be inside fences,
yeah,
right? So a Mexican dog goes to the beach if he wants to go to the beach,
Yeah.
or to church if he wants to go to church.
Yeah.
He can take a bus
yeah,
if he wants to take a bus. The whole country is a dog park.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So but he understands the rules, the boundaries, and the limitations.
Yeah.
People call it a street dog,
yeah,
which is called another member of our society.
yeah,
He's just another member.
Yeah.
There's a lot of street people.
yeah,
We just don't call them homeless. It's just people they do a lot of business in the streets.
yeah,
It's called a hustle in America. Right? You know what I mean? They're hustle. They're selling things. They're doing that. It's just, but the interaction that happens in Mexico with a dog is you get to be respectful to another species, and he gets to find food and water and family and protect his territory his way. Right? We don't have. People are not afraid of dogs off leash.
yeah,
When you are in America and you see an off-leash dog, they immediately want to send him back to the owner, which is the right thing to do, or they're afraid of it.
yeah,
They,
Yeah.
they don't know how to experience a dog adapting himself to civilization. They don't.
Yeah.
And when Americans go to Mexico, they feel sorry for the dog in the street. They're like, I understand they're skinny, nobody bathes them, they have ticks and all of that stuff, but that dog psychologically and spiritually is freaking happy.
yeah. It's probably coming from a healthier place.
Yeah.
Than,
If you get a chance to survive versus a chance to not survive, you choose survival.
Yeah.
Because at least you learn about life.
Yeah.
You get a chance to be you.
Yeah.
Using your own natural abilities to survive versus everything that's been given to you.
Yeah.
If we do that to kids, we ruin them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all super interesting, and especially when you think about that, at least in Germany, the whole pet industry, food and dog beds, leashes, everything you can think of that has to do with having a pet is a bigger industry than the one for children. There's more money in a pet industry than there is in a child industry.
Amazing.
That is crazy to think about. I mean, it's wonderful, and it gives us the opportunity to
Right.
tour in those markets and
Yep.
and explain it to people and try to teach them and try to have a better, don't need to quote you,
Mm-hmm.
for everybody to get along and have a fulfilling life with a pet. But
This
I
is your
never.
first time in California?
Yes.
What do you what do you like? What do you ever like wanted to see California? Like being in
I
Germany?
I do. I want to travel the coast, and I just want to go up north.
Why up north?
It's
Why do
the
you
Pacific
here?
Northwest
Uh
is
huh.
beautiful. I want to see that. LA, I don't know. When I landed, I told Louis, it was cold, it's rainy, and everything smelled like weed. It's very
Here?
yes in LA.
Yes.
So it's like, God,
Yes. Yes. That's
that's
definitely the
interesting.
capital of weed.
It's
Yes.
yeah.
So it's funny because when I grew up in Mexico, the only thing I knew about America was not Washington D.C., was not Houston,
Yeah.
was not Tennessee, was not Kentucky.
Yeah.
I never heard about it. Right.
Yeah.
The only thing I heard was Disneyland and Hollywood.
Ah, okay.
That's all. That's as far as I wanted to go, Sina. That's as far as I wanted to go because I grew up watching Lassie and Rin Tin Tin. You know that story.
Yeah.
And and to me, America was just Hollywood or Disneyland.
I don't
That's what
like
you
I don't
hear.
like either. I don't like amusement parks,
Me neither.
and I don't.
Don't say that around Andre because apparently he loves it. Apparently, my two kids love Disneyland. Like that's I understand when they're little,
Yeah.
but uh, I work in Hollywood
Yeah.
not because I'm an actor. It's just because I do TV shows, right?
Yeah.
And do you know about I'm about to be 20 years on TV? I had no idea.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. I didn't came to America to be on TV.
Yeah.
You know, I came and I wanted to go there because that's where Lassie and Rin Tin Tin live in my head.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so I love that that naiveness. I always remember it. I love to hold that naiveness because it's the innocence of a child.
Yeah.
You
We
know?
should all preserve this as long as we can.
Yes. I do it. I do it, and I repeat it for a reason because it sent me back to that moment of naiveness and fantasizing that one day I will go,
Yeah.
even though my parents didn't have passport or visa at that time.
Yeah.
You know, so in reality, it was impossible.
Yeah. But how much were you aware of it?
About
That
what?
that you couldn't go other places because of
Oh
that?
yeah, but I always knew we were poor.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't
That's it.
go places. Like, when I grew up in East Germany, we couldn't go anywhere, but I wasn't aware of it. It's kind of, maybe it's that when you say not the golden one, but a cage one. When you're inside the cage, you don't know what the rest of the
That's right.
outside looks like. You're
That's right.
kind of like, guess I'm good where I
I
am.
knew that my friends were able to go to Mexico City,
Yeah,
and some of my friends will go to a place called Disneyland.
yeah,
Right? I knew that my mom and my dad never talk about it, and so that was that's as far as I knew that the reason why we didn't go because we never talk about it.
yeah,
You know, they never want to say we can go or like to have like a fantasy in your head that you might go.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm gonna hold my parents to it,
yeah,
right? So they were very very careful, and at the same time, you're right. I never knew that I wanted to go either.
yeah.
I never knew it existed. So
It must have been hard
so
for your
ignorance
parents.
is bliss, right?
Yeah, yeah, or
It can be bliss.
yeah, it can be.
Sometimes it's not. It's when it's not bliss is when you're ignorant and you hurt people.
Yeah.
Out of ignorance.
Yeah. But it must have been hard for your parents because and that's the thing that we understand when we become parents, how hard it is that you want to give everything you have to your children, and
Yeah.
you want them to better and have everything you didn't have.
Yeah.
Sometimes probably you try. We all tend to overcompensate on certain things, but knowing that your child may want to go to Disneyland and that's not gonna happen
That's
because
not
you don't
gonna
have the money, you don't have the papers or anything like
That's
that.
right.
That must have been horrible. Because you would probably, they probably would have loved to taken you.
Hopefully.
Think
Yeah,
so.
They never went through their head. As far as we went together as a family was El Rancho, the ranch.
Yeah.
So I was born in Culiacan, Sinaloa. Then we moved to the ranch.
Yeah.
Then I stay in the ranch, which is the most blessing thing that happened to me, right? Because my grandfather was there, my grandmother was there, my mom, my dad.
Yeah.
My grandfather died 105, my grandmother died 105. All that knowledge, Sina, all that
Yeah.
love was given to me from birth to 5. And then after that, I needed to go to kindergarten,
Yeah.
right? And then we moved to the city.
Yeah.
And in the city, that's where, oh, you got to go to school. But I already had the connection, the communication, the relationship with
Yeah.
nature, you know? So to the point that growing up in the city, I developed, not developed, but they gave me a nickname,
Yeah.
El Perrero,
Yeah.
because I was the only kid that was followed by dogs,
Yeah.
right? And so back then it was like a curse.
Yeah.
In America, they call you the dog whisperer. In Mexico, they call you El Perrero.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's the difference of like the values of stuff.
Yeah.
But thanks to that, I developed a connection. I didn't have a lot of human friends,
Yeah.
so the animals became my friends.
Yeah.
You know, like the fulfillment of that shit. I don't have a lot of friends, but I have a lot of animals, and okay, and I adapt. I didn't do it consciously.
Yeah.
It was unconsciously done. You
Yeah.
know, I felt at home.
Yeah.
You know, because practically I was raised in a farm. Then I have to move to the city. When you're a kid, you don't want to move to a place that you're happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though it's more things, you're gonna have more friends. You know what I mean? You're gonna see the city.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to move. I was happy.
I totally get that. I don't like
And
living
look
in
at
the city.
now I have a ranch.
Now you're living the dream.
Now I have a ranch.
Yeah.
My family never owned a land.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm the first one in my family that owns a land, and I.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Yes, my family never owned anything like, back generations. No, they just didn't. And I don't know, maybe that's why, maybe the same for you, but that was a desire to maybe be the first one to make it and say, I own something, something I can pass on.
Like to break the cycle. I call
Yeah.
it like
Yeah.
breaking the cycle and,
Yeah.
and like getting into another position so we can enjoy the evolution or
Yeah.
the creation of what people have created.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
otherwise we'll stay in the same place.
Yeah.
Based on their
Yeah.
belief system.
Yeah, and you can leave something to your family. That's a beautiful thing too.
Yes.
You can pass on value.
Yes. So talking about breaking the cycles and talking about animals, and talking about this is your first time in California.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're spending it with us. Obviously, we respect you, we love you, we trust you, my whole Mexican team. And I would like to take a nice pack walk with you.
Awesome.
So you can have it and tell the girls that you walk with a pack of animals and a magical place.
They'd be very jealous.
Better than Disneyland.
Yes, definitely.
Let's go. Before. Yeah, they love Lorenzo for some reason. All the Germans like, I want the llama. I guess
You don't get to see a llama that very often and walk around with it.
That's right.
So the little girl inside of me is very happy.
Yes, that's right. That is it. I think this one, her name is Nikita. They change the name all the time. Hey, yeah. So, what do you think about the new message that we should bring into Europe? I can't wait to go back, by the way. I can't wait to go back. I think.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to come back. It's been
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Oh
So a
my
lot
God.
happened.
You hear that, Rio?
It's good to remind people, all the messages that we had before, going back to the basics,
Mm-hmm.
especially now that a lot of people during the pandemic have adopted pets.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot new pet owners, and it's good to, do a little reminder.
Yeah.
What is it really about?
Yeah.
Let's refocus.
Yeah.
After 2 years of craziness in the world,
that's
let's
right.
refocus.
Let's go back to natural, simple, profound.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what do you think about the ranch?
I love it here.
Yeah?
It's so much. When I at home, like we play with Legos a lot, and I built little ranches with Legos. So this is awesome.
Thank
And
you.
I love all the animals.
Yeah.
I was a big horse girl when I was little.
Right.
I love dogs,
Right.
love llamas, love
Right.
your cow.
Yeah. India.
Your cow is
Yes. I wanted to have a cow and name her India.
she's great.
She is amazing.
Started with her yesterday. She's adorable.
Yeah. So the goal, is when I say I need to get a land, because I was getting tickets by walking so many dogs off leash because they need to walk off leash, right?
Yeah.
And there's no really places in America where a dog can walk off leash without you getting a ticket.
Yeah.
And Americans were not used to see someone walking more than 10 dogs off leash.
Yeah.
You know, they're used to see homeless people,
Yeah.
and it's one dog. But once I started doing it, I was walking 40 dogs off leash, which to me is normal off leash. Coming from Mexico, we don't put leashes on a dog, right? But then I realized, okay, I need to have a place where this philosophy or natural way of being can be practiced, so Americans can see,
Yeah.
you know, how does it feel like? How does it look like?
Yeah.
You know, when you have a dog next to a llama,
Yeah.
bird, whatever species it is, you know, because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
They're just not used to it. They don't understand the concept of, even though they say the land of the free.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not free. You need a leash. There's a leash law, right? So then at one point I saw this land. This land used to belong to a Dutch lady.
Okay.
Yeah. So she used to own this land, this land, and that land. She sold it. She kept this one. She wanted to make it look, you know, close to what I done. But she had emphysema, so yeah. So she wanted to sell it before she passed,
Yeah.
but she wanted to sell it to someone who loved the land as much as she did. And of course, I love the land as much as she did. Yeah.
See, somehow got to almost, incorporate her dream into what.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, she didn't want to sell the land to just anybody, right? And so when I came in, and then she knew, who I was. She loved German Shepherds, and she didn't get to see it after that. She didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
She just get to know that the land was in good hands, but she didn't get to see none of it. Look how beautiful this is. Look how beautiful this is.
You definitely created a little paradise.
Yeah.
And I love that I could tell you have so many more ideas.
Yes.
Things what's going to happen next.
Yes. We're gonna have a restaurant. We're gonna have RVs over there so people can stay on the weekends, like Airbnb type of thing.
Yeah.
Right? I want people to stay so we can wake them up in the morning, do yoga, meditation, stretch, whatever. Right? All the stuff that people do, but incorporating animals into it. Because everybody practice yoga, meditation, or ayahuasca, whatever, but there's no animals in it. So to me, I think if you incorporate the animals, you can begin to practice what you just learned. The people that work with me become my family, but there is something about the blood. There's something that's natural, and so that's it. That's all I have. 2 kids, two human beings, part of my blood family. Everybody else is part of my, being in that circumstances family, which I love them and trust them and respect them very much. But I do miss that family thing, and I'm pretty sure that when you go to work, you miss your husband, of course, number one, and then the girls,
But that's why, when you want to make it count when you're not home,
Yeah.
I try to have as much intention as possible about the time that I'm away from home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing the people I respect and like and love, and doing things that have a lot of intention. So it's worth the time that I'm.
That's right. That's right.
At the same time,
It's worth the sacrifice.
exactly. And at the same time, showing the girls, you can do it.
Yeah.
Very hard and very difficult and challenging, not always easy. But it's good to know that you can have several things in your life. You don't
Yeah.
have to make a decision between having a passion, a job, or being a parent.
Yeah.
You can try to do both. Not
Yeah.
always easy, but
Well,
I think you can.
they need to see it. They need to see the example. Can you have a dream of being whatever thing in the world? They've seen it.
Yeah.
But it's a sacrifice that needs to be made. Is you have to take this level of responsibility at the highest level, and you always have to have in mind You do it for yourself, you do it for the world, you do it for the family, for somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Inspire, motivate yourself that what you're doing is for a bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that will keep you in a place of inspiration and motivation. And that way you lead by example. Yeah, dreams come true, but you got to work at it.
Yeah.
You know, so in your case, you were talking about the minority as a female. Can you make it happen? Can you be successful? In my case, as a Hispanic, can I make it happen? Can I be successful? Hey, there is challenges, but if you want to, if you have faith in you understand that you have to do hard work, passion, and creativity. That's how you're gonna make it happen. Even though there is a label of called minority.
You have to hustle a little harder than
That's,
everyone else.
that's right. That's it. What? And that's why this place, as soon as you arrive, is trust, respect, love. And I think that's what the world needs right now. To trust themselves, to respect themselves, to love themselves, to trust other people. What's happening with the people, you know, running away from a war zone? They need to trust. They need to feel respected. They need to feel love. And what you guys done for the refugees is practically what they needed, so they can feel safe, at least just a little bit, you know, to recover the peace.
Yeah.
And eventually you feel the love. So it's I think the right now the formula is about self-knowledge, self-value, self-love, and or trust yourself, respect yourself, love yourself. You know, so that's the message I'm planning to bring this time.
I love that. That's
Good. Now let's go get some donors. Mexican style, it's called tacos. Let's go. Let's go.